With the DS450 frame, front suspension, steering, and brakes in place, the design team centered their efforts on the driveline and rear suspension. Improving mass centralization would be the main objective, along with lowest weight and lowest unsprung weight.
Once the frame was there, the front end design was done, we had reduced that unsprung weight in the front. The next thing came, how much can we do in the rear suspension? One thing that's very critical is the weight out on the ends. Imagine you were standing at a point and you needed to rotate and you were holding a barbell. It's more difficult to start the rotation. Now imagine that you had all that weight against you. It'd be very easy to start out your rotation. The other part of it is once the rotation is started with weight out on the ends, it's much more difficult to control. Same thing applies with the ATV. Weight out on the ends makes it hard for the rider to pivot the bike or to control the bike in the air. So, a key part is centralizing the masses, getting all that weight as close to the center of gravity as we can, where the rider and the bike pivot as one. One of the biggest massive pieces is that huge steel rear axle. I mean, just that alone, you take that out, and most ATVs, it's a solid chunk of steel. So we start out with a chromoly 4140 tube, and our axle is hollow. First OE to successfully introduce a hollow axle on an ATV wasn't enough. They narrow the axle up and they make our hubs an extended reach hub. So able to move away that much steel, put in that much aluminum, and we saved weight and we kept our strength. So it really centralizes the masses back to that center point of the bike. When the project was done and we stood back and we said, okay, there's an aluminum swing arm, aluminum brake disc hub, aluminum sprocket hub. You have your chromoly 4140 axle, you have those extended reach aluminum hubs, and we didn't even stop there. We use a new tire called a Whole Shot SR. We worked together with ITP to design this lightweight tire. We put all on the scale and we find out we're the lowest unsprung weight. That's huge. That's huge.
The rear end is where the handling's at, I track into the corner and I use the rear end to slide, and I have the throttle just pinned. I'm sitting on the back and the bike is just tracking straight. You're not swapping back and forth. You got total traction on top of the bump. People are really going to be impressed with the suspension, because this is one of the first bikes you come out of the box. You can go out and do an 80-foot double on it and land a little long and it won't bottom out and hurt yourself. It's easier to get the job done with the lighter bike, and the way this thing handles, you can whip it in the air, or if you turn it in the air and land on the downside of a jump, even in the corner you can tell it. So it's definitely a big difference when the bike's lighter. I mean, this is going to be awesome for racing. It's a really good design, and I can't wait to get going on it.